Good evening. Good evening and welcome to United Real Therapy Army. How are we doing? The brother is always the first. Brother is Parasanah K. Always the first. Deadwood FC 24/7. LOL. Here we go. Big up everybody. We got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Jam Paco. It's Jam Paco. It's Jam El Paco tonight. People, we're having it. So let's have it. Let's be having ya. Where are you? Big up Georgia B. There we go. Therapy Army, where are you? Let's be having ya. Hey, let's be having ya. Big up to every one of you joining in. Let's get. We're gonna honestly list tonight. A list. But let's start with the news. Daily Mail, Daily Hate. From the Daily Hate. The Emiratis might be interested in Man United. And then you want to get into the joke, the laugh that is all together now. 1, 2, 3. The Glazers want 9 million from Man United. 9 million! Are you having an absolute? What are they smoking? I'm telling you now, the Glazers and man like saying Miassi smoking the same shisha bar when they're in London. When they're in Mayfair in London, they're hanging around with man like saying Miassi. Say Miassi, wherever you are, hold tight. And can we all please get a round of applause, people? Can we get all laugh at Barcelona? Can we all impersonate Ray Liotta? Hasta luego, Barça. Barça, hasta luego. I don't know how. If Inter Milan fail to qualify from this position, they need to get banned from the Champions League for 10 years at least. Anyway, we've got the guests for you tonight, people. We got the heavyweights. We got man like Tom, journalist one, and we got Armando. Lots to get through tonight, guys. How are we feeling? How are we doing?
Yeah, not good, not bad.
Yeah.
Good night of Champions League football.
Our Liverpool back.
No, I was messaging friends during the game saying how bad Rangers are. They are proper 1990s British football. I can't believe that they got a Dutch manager. That wide and slide, and they just kick and run, get the ball, kick it past the guy and run, and cross the ball in the box. Very basic football. Celtic are a much better team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Celtic might have troubled. Big up Muhammad Ali. Tom, how are you doing? Are you back in the UK? Are you UK? Are you okay? Are you in the UK? Are you okay? Are you okay, Tommy?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Tommy? Are you okay, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm all right.
In the UK, eh?
Yeah, I'm in the UK. Yeah, I'm in Canary Wharf in London, so.
Hey, I'm telling you, MI6 they got
up the road from me, not far from me.
Mundo, I'm not gonna lie to you. Tom helps out the security services sometimes, you know what I mean? That's why he's infiltrated this show. He's after me. I'm telling you, he's after me.
Neil Ashton's been here all along.
Mundo knows. I'm telling you, Neil Ashton has been here all along. Reporting back to the Glazers. I'm telling you, that's what he's doing. Anyway, but big up, guys. Big up. It says big up. It's been for sale since the failure Super League 2021. Avram in March sold 4.5% shares for 77 million in October. Kevin and Edward sold 8% for 166 million. I laugh at the people saying they won't. Hey, that's what I'm saying to you. So we got to get to that. Tonight. Irfan, how you doing, brother? But by the way, people in the chat, it was Irfan's birthday last week. Happy belated birthday. Irfan, I hope you had a good one. But we're going to rave it out this Saturday. Celebration. We're going to celebrate the life of Fele Kuti and all the music and all of that smoke, people.
Dele's going to be there. Dele's coming from London.
Wow. Is he going to get on the mic, Irfan?
He's going to host the party. He's going to host it.
Ah, brilliant. Most of you don't know Delis Assimi was one of the first, the youngest, should we say, the youngest member of the Egypt 80. At the age of 13, he was in
Yeah,
the...
yeah. Ended up being the band leader and arranger of the music for the fella's second band, Egypt 80.
Wow.
When he was a youngster, because he was seen as a sort of young music prodigy from Lagos at the time. So he was there band for a few years. Obviously, then he obviously went through the trauma of losing his mum because of the dictatorship in Nigeria. Obviously, hated the family, singing songs about how corrupt the regime were, and then they actually managed to kill his mum. He lost the plot a little bit. So Dele obviously knew it was a difficult time to be in the band, and then he left for London. In the mid 80s, mid 80s, he left for London, arrived in London, and started his own band.
Yo, big up Dele. That album's wicked. I love his album. I play it now and again.
I call him the Homer Simpson of Afrobeat. That's what I call him.
The Homer Simpson.
His mannerisms are so much like Homer Simpson. It's unbelievable.
Well, looks like somebody's doing a Homer Simpson tonight, and that is man like Laporta. Laporta's doing the Homer Simpson.
I mean, did you watch the game? Who watched the Barca game? Did we watch
the game?
What a game that was! Yeah,
no, unbelievable. Honestly, that team would drive me crazy. They waste so much good ball. They do nothing with it. Why are you putting cross after cross after cross with those two centre backs? Why are you wasting so much ball? I thought Barcelona had improved. I just can't believe what I was watching. I can't believe it. I mean, they scored deadly goals on the breakaway. Come on, man. You got to get to the ball. You got to take on the guy. You got to square it to someone. You can't keep crossing it. You can't keep doing that. I didn't understand it.
They bought a lot of players, and it's hard for them to gel. Our boy Frankie was holding bench. He was holding bench. So
he looked very
good old.
Hey, solid, isn't he? He's very, very good on the ball. He's solid. Doesn't give it away, and he always makes the right pass. Exactly what we needed, man. Exactly what we needed.
We don't have that. We don't have that. And talk about Barca wasting balls. Man United were like that in the second half against Everton. I was there. I watched it live, and everybody was.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we've got similar problems. Why don't the wingers take on a player? Why don't Ansi just take the guy on? What's stopping him? Can you explain that to me, please?
Anyway, big up. Listen, let's get into the first topic of the Jam Pack show for you tonight. So big up, Earthfan. Welcome, brother.
Wait a second. Before I come on, though, I heard you say 9 billion. I always listen to my phone first before I jump on. Did you actually say 9 billion?
9 billion. The rumors are the Glazers won 9 billion. And that's why we have to laugh. We have to laugh.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
A training ground facility that is not fit for purpose for a big club. A stadium that's not fit for purpose. A squad that's decrepit in terms of no balance properly. And they want 9 billion. What planet are these guys on? What planet are they on?
No, remember, it's Elon Musk world. It's Jeff Bezos world. It's not normal world anymore. They think 9 million is like the old 100 million. That's what they think because of the extreme wealth of these billionaires in America.
Well, basically,
I don't buy it.
Well, whatever they're pushing out, right? So Jim Radcliffe gave the interview last night. So we're going to get into it. He gave an interview to the Financial Times last night. And in about 4 minutes, he spoke about Man United and he spoke about his partners, his company and that. Try to invest in a football club that's Premier, not Premier League, but a Premier football club. It just means a team, a club that has a worldwide reach. Nice doesn't have that worldwide reach. But anyway, let's get into it. That's our first topic tonight, people. I'm a lifelong Manchester United fan, but Man United is owned by the Glazers family. I met Joe and Avram. They're nice people. They don't want to sell. But anyway, I want to just caveat that with this, people. Even if they want to sell, he can't come out and say it. It's against the law. Unless it will become insider trading BS and all of these kind of rules.
Mm-hmm.
What is to do with the financial, the New York Exchange and everything.
The rules.
He can never come out. So Jim Ratcliffe I don't buy the Sir business, but Jim Ratcliffe can't come out and say that the Glazers want to sell. The Glazers can say that. Nobody else can say it on their behalf. But obviously, so that came out yesterday, and he was a bit cagey. If any of you watched the video, he's a bit cagey. He talks about being in there in the stadium in '99. He says, how would I do different? You need an investment. You need to have good players. And he talked about Man United not being part of the three. He said Man United were making profits of what 800 million a season with the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid in terms of revenue that they were bringing in. Man United are out of that. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to mention them, but he talked about Man City and he talked about meeting Sheikh Mansour in somewhere, and he said for 2.5 hours they're supposed to talk about like maybe business deals. They could do chemicals because Sheikh Mansour is investing in chemicals and all this is good. He said for 2 hours all we discussed was football. We didn't discuss any chemicals, and that's all we did. So that's a bit of the caveat. But the way he talked about Man United and the body language that he gave people is like, this man is interested in Man United, but he can't officially come out and say it. So the news that comes out today, I don't know. I think it's a guy called Cross. He's in the Daily Mirror. He's a guy who's a journalist who was really had a good relationship with Arsenal and Arsene Wenger and all that kind of business. And he's an Arsenal fan, so he knows more about Arsenal than he knows about anything else. But he came out and said the Glazers want 9 billion. So I just want to set this premise for the show, people. In 17 years of all of us wanting the Glazers out, there has never been any rumors as much as there has been this rumors that the Glazers have to sell. And more than anybody, the reasons why is because this is what they've been doing. 3 years ago, they tried to get money out of the Saudis. Saudis wanted to buy it. They were in Saudi Arabia in some forum, some enterprise forum business. And the Saudis said to them, we want to buy the club. And they said, no, we want to sell you 30 shares for 700 million.
30%. 30%.
Yeah.
30%, sorry. Yeah, 30% of the shares were 700 million. Then, but no involvement in terms of how you run the football club. So basically, silent partner bullshit. That was never gonna go. So the reason why the rumors are building, and they're building through so many different journalists, not because Man United are doing badly, not because of the Super League's been over, but somebody could say because of the Super League. They banked everything on the Super League. Super League failed, and now the thing that what don't make sense is that Man United need a new training ground. Man United need either a new stadium or they need a huge renovation of Old Trafford. They don't have the money for it. Something's got to give. So, on that premise, with the first question tonight, Tom, of all of the things that you've heard from Jim Radcliffe, obviously the caveat that he can't officially come out and say the Glazers want to sell. Again, why mention all of the emotional stuff? Why go into being there 99? Why go to Man United, the history of profit to Man United and how Man United need to get back to where they were? If he was running it, if he was running United, why mention the fact that his company owns 30% of Mercedes, and Mercedes are, I said for the last year, they were one of the most successful, in the Formula One, in terms of all the different people that own.
Doesn't even have to be Formula One though, does it? Even like just car dealership as well.
Yeah. So why would he say these things, and why would he spend 4 minutes if he's not interested in? He did say one more thing as well, people, that he's not going to be waiting around. And that to me was a thing. That to me, I read that as Glazers got to get your house together, decide if he's going to sell or not. But go ahead.
Well, the only thing I would say into it all is, I think with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I think the one thing that we can say is he's got his house in order in terms of the actual operating of the words that he's trying to use and trying to speak. Because when you sat down in the hot seat and in the hot chair, and obviously got a room full of people as well, you've got an audience to project to. It's not exactly, you can't script that. You can't script the words that come out of your mouth. Yeah, you might have a brief beforehand of the sort of questions that you might be asked, but you can't script the answers to a room full of people. It doesn't happen. There was an interview when Ralph Ragnick did it with the coach's voice where he spoke about all the European coaches and everything. That can't be scripted, things like that. So the only thing that I would say with Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comments about coming out and being a lifelong Man United fan, that's fine, and that's all well and good saying that you were there in 99 and stuff. This man knows the highs of the football club, and he knows the history and the tradition of it, and everything that goes with the football club. So all the way back from the Busby Babes, all the way through the Alex Ferguson era, everything to do with all the legendary players. He knows it all, really, because he's seen it and he lived it during his childhood and his upbringing. That was his upbringing. And yeah, he's made a successful platform for himself through the chemical business. Obviously, he owns a football club. with obviously Nice in France, but it doesn't have that brand exposure. Whereas if you have Man United as a brand exposure, it's probably the biggest brand exposure in the world, really. I mean, if he bought Man United, I mean that's front page news everywhere in the world. Whoever buys Manchester United of the Glazer family, it sells papers, it sells everything. People will hear about that worldwide. It'd be the big breaking news. But in terms of the actual overall pricing of it and everything, now we always hear with the Glazer family that they don't want to sell. They never come out. They're never going to come out publicly and say that we want to sell, because of the reasoning of you're in a disadvantage negotiation wise. If you come out and publicly say that you want to sell, that price tag goes straight down. If you want to go and put a platform out there to even negotiate a deal potentially to sell the football club, you put the price as high as the bar as ever you want to go. If that's £9-10 billion, that's fine. Let's be honest, I don't think anybody's going to pay £9-10 billion for any football club. Manchester City, if you tried to sell Man City tomorrow in the position that they are in, with the team, the club, everything, they wouldn't be sold for £9-10 billion. They just wouldn't. It wouldn't happen. It's not feasible. But in the modern day era, a deal can be done. And a lot of people made the assumption, I think, well, the thing that I would go back to is the Chelsea deal. The Chelsea takeover, for me, opened the eyes to the valuation of our football club. Because Chelsea and Manchester United, commercially, completely different. Manchester United has the commercial branding massively over Chelsea in a lot of areas, in the marketing, sporting, in pretty much everything. They're a bigger club domestically because of the trophies, but also on the world stage with the world to see. However, when I look at the valuation of Chelsea Football Club, where they went for nearly £3-4 billion, and I look at that and I think, that's a club that doesn't have this worldwide brand exposure. However, with Manchester United, you're not just buying a football club to invest in. You are buying probably one of the biggest things. You know, people talk about trending on Twitter and things like that. This would break Twitter if somebody bought Manchester United Football Club. You would completely break Twitter. It'd be probably a record trending tweets for however big Manchester United goes. But the one thing that I would say with Sir Jim Radcliffe is, if you're serious about all of this in terms of a potential takeover and everything like that, I always say, not just in football, but in life, regardless of anybody who says that something's not for sale, everything and every person or anything has a price tag. Everything has a price tag. Because somebody will look at the numbers and think, nah, I can't turn that down. You see it all the time. Listen, if I wanted to buy Nuruddin's channel and I made a major bid for him, he might not accept it, but he'd at least look at the numbers and think, is that life changing?
How much are you talking?
Is that
Tom?
something?
How
Is
much
that
are we talking?
how much are you talking? I'll get the checkbook out.
I reckon.
But that's the point I'm trying to make across anyway. Everything has a price tag in any space of world. And listen, anybody can come up with any figure in the world. It doesn't mean that it's going to be sold for that, because it's a bunch of jackanory. Because I know a lot of people who, might be financially wealthy in the world who could afford Manchester United Football Club. But if the price isn't right, they don't pay it. It's as simple as that. And nobody will pay double-digit billions for Manchester United. Won't happen.
Right, Tom, let me just read this out. Big up Champagne Pappy. So this is what Radcliffe said, right? One of the things he said, if he says, I'm a lifelong fan, Man United. I was there in 99. That's deeply etched in my mind. So there's an emotional aspect of it. But Irfan, can I just go along with this of the news as well, that tonight coming out that the Emirati, apparently some rumors, it's the Daily Hate, you know what I mean? Take it with a pinch of salt. This 9 million, 10 million figure is coming from the Star. Take whatever you want with that. So all of these news, it is clickbaiting some of the fans, or is there some truth into these things? We don't know. This is all alleged. This is apparently, we have to always caveat that at this, because we can't get too giddy or too excited. But apparently the Emiratis are involved. There are what is the other country close to Saudi Arabia that does the Grand Prix where there's protests and that?
Bahrain.
There's definitely a consortium in Bahrain that are interested. Basically, Dubai and Abu Dhabi are different, and apparently Dubai might be interested in Man United. Which
they
Abu
are,
Dhabi, they're Man City owners. So, Irfan, where do you stand with all of these different things? Would you be comfortable if Man United were owned by sport washing, in terms of the sport washing, Jim Radcliffe? What would you prefer?
You asking me, Nuruddin?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. Look, I don't want any of them to tell you the truth. I mean, like, look, you know what I think?
Irfan's Glazers in breaking news, people.
No, I don't want despots, right? I don't want what Newcastle have got. I don't want what City have got, because I know too much about, you know, me. I'm a socialist, so I want good buyers. Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, we can hear. We can still hear Irfan. Mundo, I'll come to you till Irfan sorts his things out. Talk to me. What do you prefer? The Emiratis, Jim Radcliffe?
Well, I'd prefer Jim Radcliffe, but I think as fans we don't really have a say in the matter. And
exactly,
the bottom line is the Glazers. I think that the majority of the Glazers want to sell. I think there are certain individuals. I think Joel being one of them.
Avram and Joel. He mentioned
Avram and Joel. They're the two that I think want to cling on, because owning Manchester United is far more valuable than having the money in the bank. Because if you have the money in the bank, it's not going to open as many doors in terms of future acquisitions of other things, because they can leverage things against Manchester United. They can go to banks, they can get loans. They own the biggest sports brand, one of the biggest sports brands in the world. So assets, when you get to a certain level, like you get these super billionaires, it's if Mark Zuckerberg sold Facebook and had the money in his bank instead, it wouldn't have as much gravitas as him owning Facebook, because of Facebook. So I think that is, for me, the hook. That's the thing that I think is the reason why Joel and Avram are wanting to cling on to Manchester United, because they're never going to get anything like this again in their life. Once they cash out, they're out of the game. They're not sitting on the table with anyone of any note once they get rid of Man United. People want to talk to them because of the fact that they're Man United, they own Manchester United, the brand.
Yeah.
However, having said that, the share prices are going down. The club needs the infrastructure, and everything else requires huge investment, which they haven't got. So, and they're very, very greedy people. So I think they're using Jim Radcliffe to try and tease out bids from interested parties. So I think we're at the start of a process. I think Manchester United eventually will be sold, because I think it's reached a point where it's like that time when you're at the blackjack table, and it's either you're in a poker game and you're down to your last chips, and it's either you cash in or you walk away. Yeah. So what are they going to do? Are they going to go all in and invest in the club, or are they going to just leave the table, sell the club? And that's the choice. That's the choice they've got, because they can't maintain the status quo. It's impossible. They can't just float along like they have been, because it's going to reach a point. The stadium is decrepit. It's falling apart.
Yep.
It's going to come to the point where repairs are going to be needed. It looks just like you can if you live in a house and the roof's falling off, at some point you're gonna have to fix the roof. You can't just go along for the next 20 years and leave the roof as it is. So
100%, Mundo, 100%. 100%, and Muhammad Ali hits on.
Yeah, but it's not just that, though, is it, Mundo? It's not just that, is it? It's the fact that your rivals are spending money. Your rivals are spending money.
Let me just get this. False narratives. Debt accumulates to 800 million with transfers. Can't be implied to new buyers unless the club values drop by 28%. Drop in stocks. Liquidity ratio is low. Their credit score is low for a big loan.
Exactly. So they're running out of basically every single escape that they've had in the past. Those doors are no longer open.
Big time, yeah.
So they can't get the investment. Now, my only concern, which is a major concern, is that they start doing Barcelona, which is financial levers.
Lever FC, yeah. Leave it FC.
shit left, right, and centre to cling on, but they are very, very greedy individuals. We've seen that because they're taking dividends out of the club. I know other owners are taking dividends, and in years when we're making losses, they're still taking their slice of the cake. It's not even their slice of the cake. They're taking our slice of the cake, the club's slice of the cake. So the question is, are they going to do a Barcelona? Are they going to be that brazen? Because that's the only, for me, when I look at it, I mean, I'm not a financial expert, but it's, you know, there's been rumours about financial levers. If they do that, then the toxicity level is going to go through the roof. So that inevitably as well would lead to them at some point having to, inevitably, they're going to have to sell the club because they don't have money to invest. But it's about what state they're going to leave the club in at the point they sell it. You know, are they going to absolutely rinse it, get as much money out of it as possible, and then sell it at an overinflated price, which is long-term going to create so much damage to the club. So it's. I think an exit is coming. My concern is, what does that exit look like? And I think as United fans, it shouldn't just be about them selling the club. It's the manner in which they leave, what state they're going to leave us in, and who the hell they're going to sell us to. Because I don't trust them as far as I could throw them. And they're only going to look out for the Glazers. They want to make sure they leave the party with as much in their pockets as possible.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? Go, Irfan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, look, what Mundo says is pretty right. I mean, look, just try and get in the mindset of their dad. You know, what they did, vulture capitalists, leverage the club with debt, making big what we call crooked Wall Street maneuvers, yeah? You know, basically, you know, buying the club with a loan from Goldman Sachs, all sanctioned, helped by what's he called, Woodward, etc. You know, and it's a big play thing. You get hold of a commodity, you're not going to invest in it, and then you basically rinse it dry. You basically, you know, you run it into the ground, because that's how you can run companies like this. It's not just Man United. Think of other businesses in other fields that, you know, may not be as popular as Man United as a commodity, but this as a business is what they've done. It didn't surprise me one bit, because you don't have to read books about of insider trading and what happens in Wall Street or you know, the stock exchange. What the general public is not aware about is how crooked big money actually is. If you're in stocks and shares, that's what my dad did as well. You will be shocked at how crooked the whole thing is. We're just the little people in the general public who live ordinary lives. We don't know what goes on. But let me tell you, it's legalized gambling, but it's legalized fraud. And what happens is, because, like, you know, you got the trading commissions, etc., Office of Fair Trading, etc., all these people, even in stocks and shares, they have no power, because they're the people that buys off politics. You see, when you buy off politics, you're never going to be prosecuted by them. If you're a postman and you steal from the post office, they're going to make an example. You go to jail. But if you steal in Wall Street, you just get a little slap on the wrist, and that's going to continue. That's how it works. So you have to understand the makeup of these people who you're dealing with, right? And like I said, sorry,
I just want to jump in and talk about the post. I just want to inform the audience that there was a faulty machines at post offices in this country. So many post keepers were sent to prison, falsely sent to prison, because they thought all of them were robbing, and it was a faulty machine, mechanics in the machine that was counting the money wrong, and some of them have died. Some of them, it's one of the biggest payouts now, and it's one of the biggest shameful things that ever happened in this country. But carry on. So that's a perfect example. It's actually happened. It was faulty machines at post offices that the government gave out, and these faulty machines got so many postmasters locked up throughout the land. Some of them because of the stress. Some of them lost their lives because of the stress. Some of them people got a divorce because it wrecked their lives, wrecked their mortgages.
No, this has happened throughout history. If you read anything about social movements, etc., how we got the vote, how women got the vote, everything, the working class and the ordinary people have always been the fodder that you corrupt. And politics has always used the people at the bottom make rules about morality while they rinse the country dry themselves all day long. And I've got friends who worked in the stock exchange, who worked at Wall Street when they left university, and they got a job in investment bank firms.
Yep.
Some of them still there, some of them got out after a year when they saw what it was. You have to remember, for example, one of my friends went to LSE, and LSE, for example, is a university where the international elite send their children to, right? Because if you want to get investment banking, you go there, for example, and you will be surrounded by people who are parents are multi-millionaires, and they're breeding their sons and daughters to also be multi-millionaires in investment banking. And it's a world away from the world we're from. It's just the world away. But they are the born to rule. Anyone who knows anything about public schools, etc. And this is a system. So the Americans have their own way, obviously, with their schools, but they are the biggest vulture capitalists, you see. And you'll have to look at companies like ExxonMobil and all the stuff they've done. I mean, even the pollution, all the shit that they've got away with, right? If it was any small company, they would have been run out of business by now. So you have to understand. I want the football support to understand the rule for you is not the same as the rule for the big business elite. It's a different rule. Right. And you have to get that into your head. So they like I said, like Nuruddin said, they've got the biggest commodities you can think of at the time. Right. And they couldn't believe their luck. And they have been rinsing it dry every way you can think of all day long. Right. Thinking, well, even when Dad was alive, don't worry, we'll get our dividends every year, and then we'll sell it for 10 billion or whatever. And we're billionaires and we can go and chill out and we're in the promised land. Even though they're stinking rich already, right? But like I said, greed in America knows no bounds. It knows no bounds whatsoever. Trust me, it doesn't, right? And like I said, only look at Elon Musk and all the rest of these guys, with their hundreds of billions, and it's sort of not enough. So I'm not surprised by this, but we have reached a point at the club whereby every other club that's investing properly, no matter how dirty the money could be, they're investing properly whether they like it or not. They're developing their commodity, whether it's Man City, whether it's Chelsea, whoever, Liverpool, any of the big teams, right? Even Tottenham, whatever. They are putting money. Tottenham Stadium is taking the piss out of Man United at the moment. It's absolutely, we are looking like Hereford United without stadium compared to them. Right. And whether you like it or not, right, the public know that's happening. The public can see that because we've got this stadium that's like 1984, and everyone else has got these top. So the Glazers, even their advisors must be telling them, look, it's reaching that point where if you don't invest, it's game over because the pressure is everything's caving in. But like I said, we have reached that point where I don't know what these guys are going to do. Obviously, I do believe that they're sending feelers out for some, crazy oil-rich, Gulf despot to buy it for 9 billion and just using like Jim Ratcliffe. All footballers do that with contracts. I mean, with agents, it's the same technique anyway. You play one side against another, hoping some despot or some rich idiot will buy it anyway. This is just how it is. But it doesn't surprise me one bit. But obviously 9 billion is a way of maybe getting 6 or 7 even, in their minds. But I just don't know because they're very hard to predict who these people are, what's in their minds. It's just that. But we know we're hopefully, I think we're reaching the end game of this. Something has to give at some point because everyone else is investing and we're not. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel we're in that last chapter of this whole Glazer thing. I do feel it. I might be being optimistic, but I actually can't see them. I can't see them unless they're going to can't even leverage any money. They can't get loans. They can't get anything because they've rinsed everything out. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I do feel it's reaching its end at the moment. I do think they're nearing the end.
Something's got to give. Something's got to give. By the way, they made promises to Manchester United Supporters Trust about doing the stadium and sorting out the training ground, but they're not going to do it. But anyway, guys, we're going to move on. Big up Hassan Yusuf, United Real Therapy Journal editor, quote finder. Big him up, man. Listen, I say it straight, people. I don't know if any of you watched the press conference. I want to go around and ask. I want to give you this information first of all. Long-term injuries came out of today's press conference is that Donny van der Beek, Juan Bissaka, Tuanzebe, all them, Williams, all them are apparently long-term injury, so they're gone. Four of those players that could be helping in the most congested part of the season, they're not available. They're not going to be available from the way he was talking today. Giving you the fact that you saw what came out of the news today that he thinks that Ronaldo is now up to speed, and with the way he took the goal against Everton and how he played and how he was trying to defend, it looks like he's up to speed. He said about Martial. Martial didn't train today. Rashford did train today because he took a knock. It was the last kick. The ball hit at him, and I think it was his ankle, and then he fell over. But he trained today. Putting all of this in, and then we're facing what they're called, Omonia. I can't even bloody say what they're
Omonia.
Yeah. We're facing Omonia tomorrow, and none of us can be asked with that with this after watching the Champions League tonight.
They're reminded today. Fans are reminded already today. They're in there.
So I'll say this to you guys: the most asked question that anybody is interacting with me on social media is, "Do I think that Man United are finishing top 4?" After me telling you everything that you need to hear, that the Glazers are not going to spend any money in January. They've come out, they've briefed the game. And the bit they did for their financial, the quarterly, they came out and said they're not investing because they're heavily invested in the summer. And then they haven't got any money to invest in January. Me telling you all of this information, Martial being the way he is, if Ronaldo gets injured, we've got Rashford up front. If Rashford gets injured, we've got who have we got on the bench? Sancho to come in. Man United are looking bare thin. With all of the information that I've given you, can Man United finish 4th? I'll come to you quickly, Tom. Please make it quick so then we can go around and do the bit of the preview as well.
I think we can finish 4th. Yeah, I would say so.
All of the different things I've explained to you? What makes you think that we can finish 4th?
Because I think some of the other teams will bottle it under the pressure, if I'm being honest.
Do you think there's pressure on us because the money that?
No, I don't think there is any. I don't think there's pressure on Man United, to be honest. Not really, because the investment that was in the summer was ridiculous, wasn't it? We scraped the barrel for 3 months chasing a player that was never there. We then paid over the odds to get somebody last minute at the end of the day, which was Anthony, for 100 million euros, which was ridiculous and stupid. When you could have got him 3 months earlier for what? Half the price tag. That's not good. That's not good investment. And we just spoke about the ownership with the marketing and the financial and all the impacts of that. These guys are shit at finance as well. Because if you're seriously telling me that you waited 2 extra months to then pay more money, how is that a good financial decision? It's not. And these people are supposed to be banking experts. Honestly, they've milked the cow dry completely.
Right.
That's just
I'll go quickly to Irfan and then we'll go back to Mundo.
Yeah.
Do we think we're going to get top 4th? Top 4?
I'm going to answer my own question. I genuinely don't think Man United can finish 4th. I think it would be a miracle for Man United to finish 4th. A miracle this season. Because I can't see where Man United are getting the points from in terms of where the manager is coaching his style into the team. I don't think he can. He needs Man United for Man United to finish 4th. They need 3 new signings in January. And I can't see the Glazers doing that. And then we need to hope and pray everybody comes back from the injuries and then playing fantastic. But go ahead, Irfan.
No, I'm with you all the way. I think it's going to take a miracle for us to come top 4 because, like I said, it's not just the fact that we got weakness in the squad. We got all these injuries and stuff. Like I said, psychologically to me, it's a weak ass team. It's a coward team. Like I said, when you get exposed the way you got battered by City that badly, and obviously you got beaten by Brighton and thingy, and we're winning these games in between, so everyone's sort of hanging in there, going, "Oh, it's not over yet. We're a little bit better than Ralph's team." I still haven't seen the signs of us going forward. Like, you've seen how much Arsenal improved. You know what Tottenham are going to do. They're going to get 10 behind the ball and wait for Son and Kane to score, and then shut up shop again. You see them. I don't see that with Man United. I just see a team that can break. Like when the wind's blowing strong, bang, it's done. It's game over. And let's be honest, I do say playing for Tottenham is not like playing for Man United. Playing for Arsenal is not like playing for Man United. Playing for Man United is a wholly unique big balls thing, and our players don't have it. I'm telling you the truth. I just don't have it. We need another replacement for Eriksen because I can't see him lasting a season. Like I said, even with the defense, we haven't got another central defender because Varane's not there. He's not going to be there all the time. We need a striker. You can't run around all the time. And you've seen the former how sort of volatile the former Sancho is because he looks scared to it like a child to me of late. So I just can't see it at all. I cannot see when I look at the improvement of Arsenal and how they've been going for it, and you see the belief in their football. I don't see that United. So I can't see us getting 4th at all. I can't see us.
Okay, Mundo, quickly, go on. Where do you see? Can you see us finishing? Me, I agree with Tom. If the other teams bottle it because there's pressure, so we're going to be fine for that with Chelsea, Spurs, and if Arsenal have a massive dip, that they will come into it as well, and Spurs. So Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal.
I think Arsenal. I hate to say it, but I think Arsenal definitely finish in top 4. Man City, obviously. I think Conte will get Tottenham in there, and I think Chelsea. I don't think I can't see us finishing above Chelsea, even though they've got Potter, just because Chelsea have got experienced players and they've got a system, and he hasn't gone in and he hasn't changed much really. He's just gone in and managed the same team under the same system. Whereas Ten Hag's having to create a whole new system with, I think, with a squad that isn't fit for purpose. And I've always said we're not going to see proper Ten Hag football. Even though, to be fair, against Everton, I felt for the first time I watched a game of football, we went down 1-0 after 5 minutes, and I didn't panic when I was watching the game because I felt we started the game quite well. And I could see some form of system, and United were keeping the ball well, etc. etc. Second half's a different story, but you can see a little bit of Ten Hag's influence. I've said before, until he's got the balance of the team is majority of his players and not majority of other previous managers' players, who most of which need to be moved on, we're not going to be on Man United, and we're not going to be challenging for anything. So at the moment, I mean, if you look on average, it's 4 of his players that he's brought in and 7 of the old players. Until it's 7-4 in his favour, 7 of his players, and maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of the old players, I don't think Man United are going to be competitive, because we've seen it too many times with these guys. When the going gets tough, the mentality shifts.
Cowards.
Yeah,
cowards.
The mentality shifts. So, and to get into the top 4 will be a real race this season. I don't think Liverpool are out of it. It's not going to be. It's going to be Man City.
The World Cup's going to come into it. Injuries, fatigue from the World Cup, emotional.
And remember what you said last year about, or was it the year before? Especially, you said that the level had dropped. But I think the levels got better this year compared to last year. I do think the levels got better. So we're getting found out because other teams have improved. You know, Arsenal being one, and obviously
and the problem is as well is if we get and what you guys are saying is right. Is when you look at our squad in comparison to maybe Liverpool only are the only other team where you look at the squad and think 2 or 3 injuries and they're screwed. I say the same for Man United. I think Tottenham are not as bad. I think the way that Conte plays football means that with his system, if Kane or Son got injured, then you'd worry. But if he keeps those 2 fit, the rest of the team, I think he could muddle through. But Man United, we're 1 centre-half away from being in real. If Lindelof or Martinez get injured, we're screwed.
Or Eriksen.
If Eriksen gets injured, we're screwed. If Ronaldo now goes and get injured, we're screwed, right? Because Martial's out. And we've seen what happens when we even if we change 2 or 3 players in that first 11, the drop off in performance.
Massive.
We saw it against Real Sociedad.
Massive.
So we're only 1 or 2 or 3 injuries away from that. So
Fred said it's laughing at us. I had to post a question because it's one of the most talked about conundrums for Man United fans. Can we be 4th? Can we get there? I also personally believe that there's going to come a time where Erik ten Hag, because of the lack of numbers and quality in the squad, where he's going to have to make a choice. Do you concentrate on the Europa League like Jose did, or do you then get out of the Europa League, and which I prefer? I prefer to get out of the Europa League and focus on week in, week out. Yeah. But I'll quickly, just yes or no, concentrate on the league or concentrate on actually, I've already done this conversion. I've already done it. We already covered it like a couple of shows ago. But I personally believe that. I don't know if any of you guys disagree. I think Tom disagreed. And actually, the therapy army voted. they voted to stay in both competitions.
What does I disagree on?
No, we got to get out of the Europa League quick. We got to get out of it fast.
They don't agree with us. Therapy Army voted and they said no, they're staying in it. We did it on Monday. So
don't forget the FA Cup and Carling Cup as well, whatever it's called.
That's what I'm saying. You got a lot of cup touches. We don't have the squad to deal with all this on all fronts. We just don't. We're going to get found out. I don't get it.
Well, they want to stay in it.
Not enough quality.
They fancy it. Even though I think the cowards can't win the Europa League final. But anyway, so let's just quickly get into the build-up for tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock at OT, it is Manchester United against Omonia. Nikosos. Is it Nikos?
No, Nicosia.
Nicosia.
Cyprus, yeah.
Omonia Nicosia, Omonia Nicosia. And Martial is missed, obviously. 7 out of the 11 matches this season. Went off injured, 29 minutes, 2-1 victory against Everton. Harry Maguire, all of them are out. Donny, all of them are long-term. Harry Maguire actually is not as long-term. He might be back for the big run. United we came from behind to beat Nicosia. So it's going to be very interesting. For 10 minutes after they scored, they were the better team. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. So it's going to be very interesting. I personally believe we're going to have to be careful. As it stands, Ajax, Barcelona, AC Milan, Juventus will be dropping into the Europa League, and Ten Hag is keen to win the group and avoid a potential match against them. So if we finish second, if we don't win tomorrow and then go to Spain and beat Real Sociedad in a couple of weeks' time, then we can come up against Ajax, Barcelona, AC Milan, or Juventus in the next round, and that even gets even more games. But if you finish first in the group, you get the automatic bye to the last 16, which would be interesting. This is Eric Tanadi says, I've told the players weeks ago before the break it was important to get number 1 in the group, and that's what he said. That will be our aim, and it's clear we want to avoid finishing second. So there we go, people. So at the end of the day, tomorrow we're playing. The biggest thing for me is that I want to see a change side tomorrow. We've got to get a first goal, and I don't know, I'll be shocked. The most interesting thing about tomorrow night, people, is the team news. The team news is going to be vital because, for me, if he was to play full, first 11, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because, guys, I spoke about it on Monday. Those of you who've not watched it, please go and check out the podcast we did with Saeed and Tom on Monday, 6:30. We always do it on Monday with Saeed. And there, we spoke about the 3 big games in the league that are coming up. This Sunday coming up, we're playing Newcastle. Then we play Spurs on the Wednesday. Then next Sunday, we're away to Chelsea. So, to me, he has to. Today, Eric Ten Hag was asked in a press conference if he would be resting somebody like Eriksen because of his condition and everything. He's been playing every game. Tom, come back. Mundo will be back in a minute. Go ahead, Tom.
I think obviously players like Eriksen and stuff, I think it's been said before, and probably just reiterate it again would be the point of these sort of players that we brought in. They need to be rested, man. There has to be, serious rotation tomorrow. And when I mean serious rotation, I mean you take probably the best starting 11 and you put maybe 7, 8 different players in there completely. We need a complete whitewash of this squad. Even as far back as the goalkeeper, maybe, to be honest, all the way to the front line, because I think there's some players in this team that there's some players that need minutes, and there's that players that need a rest. If you want to balance the argument out, I think especially with a lot of the players who've started or played majority of the games for us already, they deserve that time off. They deserve that rest, to be honest with you. Players like Eriksen, who has absolutely blown the whole fitness ranking together, almost in that midfield. Because listen, these players last year, they weren't running at all under Ralph Radcliffe. I'm sorry, I don't even think they averaged more than 8 kilometers, and that is shocking in any sense of a word.
They didn't. When you under the bus, listen.
Yeah, well, that's the only point.
I actually think that Mertens is telling them to throw the guy under the bus because Mertens and Ranić fell out way early. I think they fell out in like way before he got sacked, 2-3 months before he got sacked. But I'll quickly go to you, Irfan. Irfan, is it time tomorrow to unleash some of the United youngsters, the likes of Zidane Iqbal, the likes of Garnacho? Is it?
I mean, I always feel like even giving them like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but we've not been coasting, you see. We've not been like so far ahead of teams to put these guys on. I always believe that you should give the Garnacho, Zidane Iqbal, even what's he called, Savage's son, you know, those kids, give them a little bit because, you know, when you've got so much uncertainty with your recruitment, you got to do it the old school way, which is, you know, getting players through the younger squads. You've got to do that. I don't see it. And obviously Ten Hag is known for bringing young players through, and you've got to do it. Look,
you can't afford to play them, Irfan, at this moment in time. You can see why, though, can't you? You can see
no,
why.
of course I can see why. You know, because like I said, you know, it's early in his rebuild. I do get that. You know,
if you know the Twitter Man United fan base, and one of the youngsters makes a mistake, they're trending.
Of course, but no, it's Man United. It's not Hereford United. It's not. It's Man United. On the cameras are on it every day, all day long. That's just Man United. This is just. You have to understand. This is Man United. It's not a normal team. So I do get that. But look, maybe I'm being a bit giddy, but it's home, so I'm thinking, oh, we might have a half decent performance because it's home. And that's the only thing we've got these days is like home advantage to a degree. It means there's a chance we might play okay, even with this unpredictable team. So you've got to do that because look, I can't see Eriksen, you know, the guy that we rely on pretty much more every game really these days. I can't see him lasting the whole season. I just can't see it. You know, don't disrespect playing for Brentford. Okay, fine. But playing for Man United, again, it's a different thing. So we need to have something in place for some of these younger ones to get through. Even if it's 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, whatever, just to sort of blood them in a way. Because like I said, our squad's not big enough. Something's got to give. And again, you know, we're not, like I said, we're not blowing. We didn't. It was a slightly fortunate win to a degree against them. You know, we had to wake up, you know, when they scored before us. So we've got to make sure that the game management and squad rotation is of perfect for United to sort of survive this season at the moment. I can't see any other way at the moment. And that's going to, because it's so thin, it's going to have to be bringing some of these kids. And this is why I didn't want him to sell James Garner, to tell you the truth. I don't know why the moron sold that guy. So these are the problems we've got. You know, we've still got massive recruitment issues at the club. Never mind the toxic owners are not going to spend any money. And it's all on Ten Hag. I mean, I don't even know. I'd love to see what really Ten Hag is thinking right now after he got the Man United job. I'd love to know what he's thinking at the moment in private. But obviously,
Mundo, I'll go to you next, Mundo.
I want to slightly disagree. I think against Everton, I saw signs, very small signs, of Ten Hag football developing. And I think sometimes it's more important to get the system embedded. So I would just keep playing. Obviously, you can make 1 or 2 changes, but I keep the nucleus of the side the same. And just and the more games they play, the other thing as well is I don't trust these players. Like they had a 4-week break before Man City. So they should have went into that game fresh and they got licked 6-3. So my concern, I don't think giving these players a rest is benefit because I think they turn up to the game cold and then they lose, right? So you'll rest them all on Thursday and then they'll get beat by Newcastle at the weekend. So I'd rather just keep them playing, build that momentum, they learn the Ten Hag football because you can do all these pretty patterns in training, but where it counts is on the football pitch. It's not a massive exertion tomorrow. They're playing against a team that's a pub team, so they can do it, but not in a way that is overexerting themselves. Going into the game on Sunday with a bit of momentum, and then from there into the next game with a bit of momentum, and so on and so forth. I don't think we can afford. We're not good enough to chop and change. We're not good enough to chop and change. So. You can change all the players. What will happen is it'll rest players. We'll have a disjointed performance tomorrow, and then they'll go into the game on Sunday, and some of the players will be cold, and it just wouldn't. Whereas I'd prefer to just kept playing and just kept that. Because I don't trust these
until they collapse, until you get injuries. You mean?
Listen, that's a very interesting take, Mundo. I understand what you're saying, guys. Seriously, you're taking a piss, aren't you? 36 likes. We've just broke it down. We're breaking bit by down, topic by topic, and that's an insult. That's an insult to yourselves, Therapy Army. Honestly, that's an insult to yourselves. But I won't say that. I won't say no more. I won't say anymore. Basically, Cristiano Ronaldo could be facing an FA charge. I think he's accepting a fine, but he's not accepting a ban. So he's happy to accept a fine, but not a ban. And that would put Martial injured. That will just add to it. That will just add to it, people.
But how's he going to escape a ban, though? He's been sanctioned, criminal sanction. He got a caution. So it's not as though, you know, the FA, the burden of proof for the FA is much lower, isn't it, to ban him if he's accepted a caution. So I think he's on. But he's Cristiano Ronaldo, isn't he?
You're the legal expert, Mundo. You're the legal.
Yeah, you're the legal expert, Mundo. This is your subject matter. So you know.
What can the FA do to him?
Well, they can use that against him, can't they? They can say you've accepted a.
You've bought the game into distribute first, though, by in.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. Bringing the game to distribute. That's what it'll be.
You bought the game into distribute, and you've received a police caution.
Yeah, and it's the police caution. Is that a criminal? That's a criminal offence when you get cautioned. Does that mean you admit?
He's got a criminal record.
He's got a criminal record. There you go. So
not for a caution. Not for a caution. No.
Yeah. He's got a criminal record.
That'll be. I don't know. I'm thinking. Well,
so good luck.
To be fair,
to LA. But
because America. That's that. Yeah.
Yeah, travel to America. But the thing is, what could he do? It was on camera. He couldn't deny it, could he?
I don't think he wants to go. I promise you, I don't think the last place he wants to go to America after his troubles up there as well. So I promise you.
Oh, after the rape allegation, I get you.
Exactly. After they have to pay some money, so it's interesting. But it is what it is, people. Seriously, it's what it is. So we'll go around quickly, people. Therapy Army, let us know. I would like to give Diego a lot of rest. He can play 90 minutes or 2 times a week for the rest of the season.
He can't play.
He can't play. Would you give Mark Janado at least 30 minutes tomorrow? You know what? Maybe. But then he did say that today. He said that Victor Lindelof can play there. He did play there. He played there. Was it a game ago where he played the right back? And he was absolutely awful. There was
Atletico.
Deportivo.
Deportivo and Atletico was shocking.
Atletico, was it Atletico, not Deportivo, Atletico. And he was shocking as the right back. But he did say Malacia can play there, so it'll be interesting to know. Listen, guys, we'll go around. We're playing the Cypriot pub team tomorrow. Let's be right.
No, I won't. That's a bit harsh calling them a pub team. They're not.
Compared to Manchester United in terms of the stature, Irfan, they are equivalent to bloody League 3.
It's like Man United.
No, they're not, man. Come on, they're finishing the top 5 of their league.
If I'm being fair,
it's like Man United playing Port Vale.
Nudin. If I'm being fair, I think they might not win, but I think they would give a lot of top championship teams a good game. If I am being fair in saying that.
They'd beat them. They'd beat a lot of championship teams. They would.
No, I don't know if they'd beat them, but I think they'd give them a game.
Irfan, to me, they're the Port Vale of the Cypriot. You know what?
No, man.
Listen, what are the Listen, big them up, by the way. They're the anti-fascist club in Cyprus.
They are. They're the communist club. I think, but we're being a bit arrogant to call them a pub
No, we're not being arrogant, Irfan. Irfan, I'm telling you now, Sheriff went to their ground, smashed them 3-0. This is Sheriff.
Listen, I know they raised the game against us. I could see them raise the game against us.
Man City were playing.
Come on.
Irfan, what would the score be? Man City were playing them. It'd be like 15-0.
Yeah, but Man City is the best team in the world. Come on, stop it.
But even, let's say, if Spurs were playing them, Arsenal playing them, it's going to be 10-0. Trust me.
So we're a pub team as well then. The way we're playing them, we're a pub team as well.
Well, listen, we're cowards, Irfan. We're a bunch of cowards. We let them score 2 goals against us.
I would call them a polite word would be minnows, right? A polite word to use.
Wimbledon FC, they are. The Wimbledon AFC Wimbledon, or I don't know, Luton Town FC or someone. That's their level.
No, but remember, top 5 in their league is top 5 in their league, or whatever it was. What position did they come in Cyprus?
But it's like it's like saying, we're top 5 in the Lithuanian league. What does that mean? Or top 5 in the...
No, nobody really knows what it means. It could be Port Vale. It could be some championship team. But like I said, I always think at European level...
I'll ask you the question. Where does Cyprus get in terms of the European championships and stuff like that?
They're not even.
They don't get
They never qualify. No.
Exactly. So this was their biggest. Man United went there after the cowards were shaking in their boots. So tomorrow, I expect Man United to be 3-0 up by halftime. That's what I expect. 3-0 up to be at halftime. That's what I expect. And then bring on the youngsters.
Optimism.
And then bring on the youngsters. That's what I'm expecting. I don't know why you think this team is good.
I don't think they're good. I don't think they're good.
Julian Timber, we will see you in the Europa League, pal. Well, nice to see you. Nice, my friend. We'll be seeing you. But he says, sometimes I get too casual on the pitch. But then
have you been following Ajax's form this year?
Starts shouting and swearing at me. Well, that's why he's not being good. He's not being good without Martinez, isn't he? He's not been good.
Where have you been following Ajax this year? Have you been following the games? You know, they got beat up obviously by Napoli today. Have you been following them this season? Ajax, how they've been playing?
Yeah, they're not playing like the way
they're not the same team, no.
Listen, they've lost big players and they've lost their manager, so of course it's going to take some time. It's what I'm saying. Meanwhile, Shakhtar to help Real Madrid 1-1 on the draw. Yeah, of course. Shakhtar have a fantastic record in European football. Amazing record. Actually, they've got a better record than Man United because they're always playing the Champions League.
Yeah.
That's me right. In the last 10 years, Shakhtar the next have a better record than Man United.
They should have won that game yesterday. They should have won. Won.
Listen, it is what it is. So, Irfan, what do you think? Mundo, what do you think the score's going to be tomorrow?
I think it'll be 3-0 to Man United.
Tom, let's get your score predictions in, people, before we wrap it up. Tom?
I'm going 4-0.
4-0, yeah?
I'm going 4-0 too. I'm with Tom. I think it's 4-0 as well.
So what were you talking about before about giving them respect, and now you're saying we're gonna
but I'm talking about how if we were a top team, right, kicking ass, I don't mind calling minnows and calling them shit and shit like, but we're a shit team, so we should.
That doesn't make the other team any better. They're still shit. That's what we're saying.
But I could understand it if we were dominating teams and little piece of shit from Cyprus. I'd get it, but we're shitty Man United. That's all I'm saying.
Still, we're not.
Look at the score last week. I mean, come on. Look at the game last week. Look at that game last week. You know, we had to wake up after they scored.
Look what Jarvis Cocker saying here. Omonia is a professional football club, but they are completely different Londoners. I bet Ronaldo earns more in a month than the whole team in a year. No, not even that. Ronaldo's wages
more in a week.
More in a week, not a year. More in a week.
You can't bring money into it and stuff like that.
No, but it's the truth, but it is money. You have to be competing. You just talked about it before about money.
But I'm talking about the football. I'm not talking about financial status. I'm just talking about footballing status.
Listen,
I agree they're a little team, yeah, but they're still playing in Europa League, so I wouldn't look at them as like a Port Vale or a Hereford or shit like that. I would still say they've reached a certain level. And like I said, they scored first against us. You know, we had a few hairy moments against them, so you know we can't call them. If they're a pub team, we're a shit pub team. Then we are ourselves. We're just a rich pub team. That's what we are.
We are. The Glazers have turned us into that. Alex thinks we're getting beat. We're getting beat. A lot of love for Irfan out here. Big up, well ordered. 1-0 United. 5-0. 4-1. More in. Wow.
Nuruddin, I'm hoping it's a 5 or 6-0. It should be a 5 or 6-0. I'm hoping.
Look at Liverpool tonight. Liverpool have been under huge pressure. They went up there to Glasgow. The only 2 games I've ever wanted Liverpool to win is those 2 games. Buried that bloody Rangers. Buried.
Yeah. No, I was so glad to beat Rangers of all teams.
Absolutely got buried, right? So
only the second half, Nuruddin. Only the second half. Yeah.
Was it 7-1?
7-1. It was 1-1 at half time.
And Liverpool only had 1 shot on target in the first half, and the second half came out and scored another 6. Rangers, I'm telling you, Rangers are like. I think Omonia would give Rangers a game.
Can one of you let me know how many likes we got before we end the video, please? Because I just want to shame you guys definitely tonight. So go ahead.
We're not even listening tonight. No one been listening. I've not checked. How many people have been listening today?
Oh, nearly 100 in here. Can you?
Why?
How many likes we got on the video? After everything they did this summer, watching Barcelona crash out of the Champions League, group stages are beautiful. At least you've got to enjoy the groups.
Guys, can I say one thing about that? Can I say one thing about that game?
Yeah.
We need, Merton needs to get the next flight to Milan, and he needs to buy Denzel Dumfries, and he needs to buy Lautaro Martinez as well.
No, I disagree. I definitely think you're right about Lautaro because he's deadly, this guy. But Denzel, I don't think he's got the final pass. I don't think he's got the final
pass. I think he's the biggest hype in world football.
No.
I think he's horrendous.
I don't think he's.
I disagree.
I don't think he's got the final. I don't think he's got.
I tell you who I like from Inter Milan. The guy who got subbed. Is it Sorino, whatever his name? The centre half. I like that. The guy who got subbed. It's a centre half. I like.
The left-footed centre back.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
Pastoni.
Yeah, Pastoni. Yeah,
Pastoni,
I like Pastoni. I like, but Dumfries. I think he's the biggest waste of space. I tell you, who's the perfect right back.
No, Lautaro's a baller though. Lautaro is very, very good. Come on.
The best right back in world football is a guy called Gusto who plays for Lyon. He is absolutely incredible. His numbers. All I want you to do is go and check out his highlights. More than that, but go and check out the stats. He is.
All right, let me ask you a question. Who's the best right back?
You are taking the absolute piss. There's 100 of you in here, and you've got 48 likes. That's a piss take, but I'll leave it.
Let me ask you a question though. Who's the best right back in Premier League?
The best right back in the Premier League.
Hey, who is it?
Reece James at the moment.
Reece James.
Really? You really think he's the best? Yeah.
Yeah, by far. By far.
Wow, shit. Okay.
Reece James. But go on. Who do you think is better than him?
I don't know. I don't think there's any good right backs in the Premier League.
Reece James is quality.
Reece James. Well, he's a wing back. He's a wing back, but he's brilliant. I don't
know. I don't know. I think he's overrated.
No, physically,
he's good.
Listen, physically, he's immense. He's got incredible passing ranges. He whips in brilliant balls. He plays with intensity and aggression. And that's what I like from my...
I just think he's a standard, solid, good right back. Yeah. I don't think there's anything amazing about him. I just think he's a good guy.
He's a brilliant player. He's a brilliant sorry, Arsenal fan comes in here and says to Miyasu, where's he been? He's not played. He's not played all year. Mundo, who's on top of the league? Mundo, who's coming for you? Say Miyasu is coming for you.
I know
mate.
It's coming for me, yeah. But you know what? Arsenal have been top of the league a lot of times over the last 20 years, and they've still ended up with this. Nothing. So the season isn't won in October, mate. Speak to me in May.
Exactly. Say Miyasu, come back with me. But say Miyasu, we found out tonight. Big up Tom Journalist one, but we found out tonight that you and the Glazers, when they're in London, smoke the same shisha because they want 9 billion for Man United. That is an absolute laugh. That made me laugh. As soon as I saw that breaking on Twitter, I laughed my head off. On what world? So we found out tonight, say Miyasu, you and the Glazers smoke from the same pipe, same shisha place in Edgware Road. But big up, thanks for the super chat. Ben White, no chance. Ben White's not in.
No way, no.
Esteban, Brighton, nah, mate.
I know he plays on the left, but if he played on the right, I think Cancelo would be up there.
Cancelo, yeah, no, listen, yeah, Cancelo.
He plays both sides, doesn't he? He plays predominantly.
Yeah, but he plays left-hand side, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're amazing. They are amazing family. His sister's playing for England. Well, she played for England the other night. His sister. She used to play for United.
She's gone back to Chelsea now, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's gone back to Chelsea, yeah. Reece James is to me, if I've not watched him.
And I think second behind. What about Trippier?
Oh, listen to me. Attacking-wise, I think that they're attacking-wise.
No, I'm not having it. I think he's a great player, but I'm not having it. Not rating the way you guys do. No way.
You've not watched him, so you've not watched him. So
I watch him all the time. What are you talking about? I watch him all the time. I think he's just a solid guy. I don't see anything.
Did you watch the game last night?
Huh? No, I didn't watch the game last night.
Right. Did you watch the game last weekend when they won?
I did watch the game last weekend, yeah.
Well, you watched a bit of the highlights. You didn't watch the whole just the game. So
I didn't watch the whole game, no.
You watched the highlights.
They're not my team. But look, I've seen him for England enough times. Come on, man. I've seen this guy for England.
No.
Man, he's in Chelsea now.
No. Listen, no at all. Not at all.
No.
Big up.
I've never seen Reece James get. I've never seen any wide player get.
All right, no. Is he better than Hakimi then? Is he better than Hakimi, Reece James?
Defensively, yeah. So. He's the most complete right back, yeah. He's the most complete, right? Defending wise and attacking, he's
no, I think defending wise he's better than Hakimi. I don't think going forward he's better than Hakimi.
He's got a better delivery than
listen,
Hakimi.
To be fair, I don't watch Paris Saint-Germain enough. I don't watch them enough.
I saw it for Dortmund, you know. I saw the guy for Dortmund. So I don't get the hype. Look, I'm not denying he's a solid, very physical guy. I give him that. He's a serious athlete, but I don't see anything. I don't see an X factor in the guy.
He scores goals as well. He scores two guys.
He scores screamers. He takes free kicks.
All right. Let me ask a question. Just in terms of fullback, is he better than Robertson from Liverpool?
Yes. He puts in a better
wow. Okay, right. Forget it. I'm out of the conversation then. Forget it. I obviously don't know what I'm talking about, did you?
Honestly, he is, Efan. He is. Robertson, listen, Robertson's more been consistent. Him and Trent have been incredibly consistent. The best right back by stats is Trent. What Trent has done, the world has never seen. That's Cafu levels, and I agree with Gary Neville. What he's done in the last 4 to 3 years, intensity of playing. Him and Robertson, what they've done, Efan, it's like Roberto Carlos and Cafu kind of things. That's what they've done. They've been Roberto Carlos and Cafu, more than Cafu. But in terms
what he's done more than Cafu?
No. I'm talking about comparison to them. They haven't done more than them. But what I'm saying to you, but Reece James, in a club that's turmoil, since he's broke into the Chelsea team, he's been the most solid player they have.
Yeah, he has been one of their best players. No denying that. There's no denying.
And he can play in the back three as well. He can play in the back three.
He can play in the back three. I've seen him play as a centre half. What I like about him is that he plays with level of physicality and intensity.
No, he does. Listen, I agree about the physicality. I don't see an X factor in the guy. I don't see an X factor in him. I don't.
Listen, he's 1-to-1 defending. He's not flash. He's not flash like.
He's not.
Like Trent. He's not gonna hit the back spin on the ball and stuff like that. He's not. But what he is, he's solid and he's very effective. Very effective. Saliba, best centre back in the league. We're not talking about centre backs here. We're talking about right backs. We'll have to
check out this guy from Lyon then, this Gusto guy, yeah?
Oh my gosh. Up and down, energy, everything. His levels of setting up goals is incredible. Absolutely. By far for me. To me, Man United, it will cost something like 15 million to get him. I think that'll be a steal.
We don't buy 50 million players, do we? We don't buy 50 million players.
No, but they don't want to spend 50 million either. They don't want to spend.
Yeah, but if we'd pay 60 million for him if he was 15 anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, and currently he's the best. Yeah, 100%. But what Trent and what Robertson have done, it hurts me to say, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's incredible. And there's somebody agreeing with me here. I've watched that kid in for Leon. When Leon games are on BT, I put them on just to watch him, fan. I watch Leon just to watch him. That just shows you. That just shows you. Malo, honestly.
I mean, City going to buy him then,
after we stole Malacia from them, lastminute.com. They might feel a bit.
Yeah.
Nah, business is business, Mundo. Business is business. You know, it's just
but that Orlis or whatever his name, Leon, he's a tough negotiator. So he might do the business, but he probably hold us over the barrel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll end up paying 3 times his value.
Yeah, but which owner doesn't hold the Man United over a barrel? Which one doesn't?
I'll give you this. Saliba's been one of the best centre backs in the Premier League this season. I'll give you that. But don't take that to the bank. Don't get too gassed. Like Mundo said, you don't win the league in October, mate. Nobody's ever won the league in October. So chill out with that one. But anyway, guys, we've discussed it tonight. We talked about the injuries. We've done the match preview. We've talked about that Emirati link with Man United. We've talked about the 9 million.
I missed that. Who linked with Man United already?
Emiratis. That's why I asked you the question. Yeah, Emiratis are linked with Man United. So it came out tonight as well.
Well, yes, the Emiratis, of course, yeah. The Bahrain and all them, the Gulf desk.
Yeah. The Bahrainis are also linked with Man United. It's a consortium I've been hearing about for the past couple of months as well. If the Glazers put Man United on sale, the bidding will start at around 7 to 8 million. Sorry, billion. And then it will be from there. So a lot of people will be dropping out. But anyway, win, lose, draw. Irfan, here we go. Irfan, would you take Mbappe? No, thank you. No.
You know what? It's funny on the final note, Nuruddin. I didn't know this, right? But Julian Laurent from ESPN said yesterday that Mbappe hates Neymar. Personally, does not like him.
You didn't know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Everybody knows that.
I didn't know that. It's crazy.
I didn't know that. I had no idea. I just thought they were all ego crazy maniacs. No. I didn't realize because I thought they were all similar ego maniacs themselves. They all got on. I had no idea he hates him. He hates him.
Irfan in the French national team as well. Nobody likes him. He's a bit.
Nobody likes Mbappe. No.
He thinks he's God walking on water. Apparently.
Wow.
He thinks.
And what's got Mbappe knows that of joint, obviously, because Messi and Neymar are very, they're tight, aren't they? So
Yeah. Of
He's
course.
outnumbered, but I think part of him signing his contract this summer was that PSG. One of the conditions I think was that PSG were going to sell Neymar.
Yeah.
And he was going to, because Neymar plays in his position as well. So what's coming out now from Mbappe is he's unhappy because he has to lead the line playing number 9.
Yeah. I heard it was a
He wants to
positional
play on
thing.
the left, but that's where Neymar plays. So the idea was that PSG would sell Neymar in the summer, and they would sign a target man, but they couldn't get. I think they were in for Scamacca. He ended up at West Ham. I don't know
Yeah,
how
they
that
tried to get
happened.
Scamacca.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is that they gave him
Lewandowski went in
powers.
for him as well.
Yeah, they gave him powers akin to sporting director Refan.
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Yeah.
He's the most highest paid footballer in the world by absolute, more than Ronaldo, more than Messi.
And he gets a say on signings and incomings and outgoings and all the rest.
On everything. And but those people who are like
from suburbs of Paris, the banlieues, the beaten up, broken down parts of outside of Paris, and look at him now, man, unbelievable. He's totally forgotten his roots, completely forgot. Wow.
Well, it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But Irfan, would you take him a swap deal? I'm saying, Miasi.
I take him.
Listen, nobody can afford him in the Premier League. Only Man City can afford him.
Yeah.
And maybe Newcastle, but you're not going to go to Newcastle.
No, Man City wouldn't pay those wages for any player, would they? They wouldn't pay those wages.
Irfan, somebody said Manchester City will never pay 100 million for a player, but they did. And guess how much he's getting? Guess how much Haaland is getting?
How much? Is he getting City money as well?
Haaland is probably
850 grand a week.
Or third.
No, he's not getting more than Ronaldo, is he?
Irfan, with the bonuses and goals, he goes up to almost 400,000 a week. With bonuses of the goals he scores.
Yeah, but no, I thought Ronaldo was on 650.
No, it's that had to go half. That's had to drop because of we were in the Europa League.
Right.
But apparently Ronaldo had a clause that wouldn't happen if United dropped to the league. So maybe he's still getting paid money.
Okay.
So would you have him? No? Nobody can pay those wages. Real Madrid.
Well, Madrid. I'll still take him.
Ala Madrid, mate. Ala Madrid. Anyway, guys, it's a Man United channel. We're not talking about bloody Mbappe, but we're not going to have it. We don't want him. Maybe Arsenal say Miasi. He'll take you to the league. Can you afford him? He'll take you to the league. Big up everybody. Love, like. I'm not going to even say it. I think we give you brilliant content tonight, and you're not even liking the video, so it is what it is. I'm not even going to say to you, like the video. Don't like it. It's up to you. But anyway, get in the comments. Are Man United worth? I want to know in the comments, those of you who watch the video later, are Man United worth 9 billion, or are you laughing like me? Are you happy to be bought by the Emiratis? I don't want any oil billionaires to ever buy Man United, even though all billionaires are corrupt. I'm not just saying that because these countries are death pot. Britain is a death pot. Britain tortured people. Britain murdered people in the Iraq War. Britain murdered people with NATO in Libya and in Afghanistan. So
Britain's been murdering people for 500 years, for God's sake. 500 years.
Disclaimer. These are not my comments. These are not my views. I'm not getting dragged down with you two. No chance. I'm not having any Secret Service kicking my door down, mate.
It's Tom coming in to get us. Big up Tom, by the way. But we'll say, listen, and I'll say to everybody, good night, people. Please, don't smash that. Just share the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'm not going to tell you to like. And this is Paul Tenney says, United, please sign Van der Beek. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to keep a watch on him. But listen, I'll say this and I'll say this. Find Mighty Mundo on Twitter. He's going to get involved hopefully more, but he's got 2 little rascals and he has to look after them. Irfan Rainey on Twitter and on Instagram. Music on Instagram. Politics.
Oh, hang on there again. Hang on. Shit, 1 minute.
I'll let him fight.
One minute. It's all about this man this weekend.
Saturday. We're going to celebrate Fella.
Love a bit of Fella.
A bit of Fella. So Saturday, people, we'll be sorting that out. But big up to you. We'll hopefully be doing a match preview before, but I might do a call-in show tomorrow before a game because I want to hear people's views on some of the things we've talked about tonight. But win, lose, draw, bankers out, Glazers out, always. Glazers reign something's got to give. So Glazers out, Bulgers out, parasites.
Yep.
Parasites.
Let's hope it's close. Let's hope it's close.
They're also pesticides as well. They are a horrible chemical when it comes to Man United, so they need to go as well. But big up to every one of you. Fela Kuti, keep it in your mind. Listen to his music. Good night, people. Peace, love, light.
Right, Nora, I got to get